WWDC 2024 just got done, and Apple announced a bunch of new features coming to their devices, from iOS to macOS to watchOS, even visonOS. So here's everything that you need to know. Make sure you use the chapters at the bottom to find out exactly what you need. Otherwise, in the next 13 minutes, let's find out what exactly is changing in the coming year. Let's start with the big one, Apple Intelligence. Apple is not using Siri as its main face for AI, instead is using Apple Intelligence. Siri has been redesigned completely and has a new look and a new animation when activated. Siri is now contextually aware, and it seems Siri is now smarter than before, a common issue most of us had before. Here's what it looks like when activated. Let's talk about what Apple Intelligence can do. We have priority notifications. Based on what it thinks is important, it will show notifications on your lock screen. It is able to help you rewrite emails. It is also able to help you summarize. These are basic features that we've seen with a bunch of AIs that can do it right now. What is Apple bringing new here is something like Genmoji, where you can take your image and create a new emoji or a poster, which you can use in messages. Siri is now able to read what's in your email. It's able to see what's in your calendar, it's able to see what's in your messages and answer questions. For example, updating the address on your contact, it can understand what's on the screen and do it when you ask it to update the contact. Siri now has a new look on Mac and is more unified, and I think I like it. One of the cool features Apple introduced here is TLDR. They call it summary. So if you write a really long email, Apple is now able to summarize it in as a TLDR and then put it on top of your email, or just replace the email completely. Another cool thing they have shown here is what you see in the Mail app. Instead of showing you the last reply, Apple will now show you the last reply along with a short summary, so you know exactly what's happening in that conversation before you even go inside. And once you go inside the conversation and the email is really long, you can obviously summarize those conversations. Apple is also now showing you priority notifications on the top of your email. Based on what it thinks is important, it'll show you things like your boarding passes or important conversations. They've also introduced a new focus mode called Reduce Interruptions, in which it can show you important information that Apple Intelligence thinks it's important to you. One interesting turn of events is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is now part of iOS and works with Siri. Based on what you ask Siri and Siri's understanding of the question, it might suggest talking to ChatGPT, and with your permission, it will upload your responses or questions into ChatGPT to get answers. Apple has also introduced features like Clean Up, which is basically erasing objects in the background or removing humans that you did not want in your pictures. There's also the ability to summarize call recordings. Once we finish watching Craig tear apart his jumpsuit, let's talk about iOS 18. We have a bunch of customization features, starting with the home screen. We've been able to customize the iPhone's home screen for a long time, and Apple's been adding to it. Now you can place your icons at the bottom of your home screen, or even to the right, wherever you please. You now have a new look for the dark mode, and you can tint your icons something like Material You. iOS is going to decide for you what tint is suitable based on your wallpaper, or you can pick your own tint. iPhone's customizability has now been taken to the next level, and I'm quite happy with this change. There is a new control center. It looks the same, but you can customize it to look completely different. You have new icons, and you can swipe up to access music, home controls, and you can add more. They showed an example of a Ford Mach-E being able to start it and cool it. Developers will be building new controls, which will help you customize the control center, and I think this is something really exciting. You can now customize your lock screen options. You can change your torch and your camera to be whatever you want. You can see in this example, Snapchat is now a possibility. We also have more customizability for the action button, and that is something which is really powerful and definitely welcome. Apple is also giving you the option to have a locked folder in your app library. which is again locked by Face ID. A useful addition to iMessage is the ability to send later. You can prepare your message and send whenever you want. You now have some cool ways of expressing with text effects. You can make your text larger, you can have your emojis dance, and so on. iMessage can now use satellite connectivity to communicate. A bigger addition here is the support for RCS. We now have a new updated mail app which now has categorization for your emails. You have a primary, transactions, updates, and promotional. All your emails are automatically categorized here, and you obviously have a section for all your emails. This is really useful to sort your emails and get through them really quickly. Now for a couple of quick changes, you can now have trails and topography in Apple Maps. You can make payments from one iPhone to another iPhone using Apple Wallet. You can now redeem points from third-party services, and you have a new look for tickets. Finally, Apple is bringing a game mode to the iPhone which will optimize iPhone's performance to run games while not getting too hot and maintaining stable frame rates. It also reduces latency between your connected devices, including earbuds and your controllers. Apple has now introduced a new Photos app which they're calling it as the big redesign. To me it looks very similar to the Amazon Photos app. Once Craig is done with his parkour through Apple Campus, let's focus on macOS Sequoia. You get all the changes that you saw in iOS 18 available on macOS, but there are a couple more changes happening on macOS. Starting with continuity, where your iPhone and its apps are now available on the macOS. You can use your touchpad, you can use your keyboard, the speakers, everything works as is. You can even receive notifications. When you click on it, it opens the app from your iPhone, and while you're doing all of this, your iPhone is sitting locked until Craig grabs it magically. Now I'm not sure if you can use your iPhone separately than what's happening on your Mac, but in this example what Apple has shown is just the standby. It can show you different information while you use your phone on the Mac. A new way of sorting your windows by dragging to the edges of your desktop and it'll snap to a new layout. You can also use keyboard shortcuts to make your windows dance around. There is a new app called Passwords, and I feel this is a really good addition. You're able to store all your Wi-Fi, app passwords, website passwords, verification codes, sign in with Apple and Passkey. It's an all-in-one solution which works on all Apple devices along with Windows using iCloud. I feel Apple's been too busy talking about Chrome versus Safari when I think Arc is taking over Safari. Apple reminded us that Safari has a bunch of features. Maybe Apple's aware of Arc. One of the key features they showed using Apple Intelligence is highlights. Safari is now able to show you snippets of maps, the music that's playing, a summary of what's on the website, and so on. Talking about games on Mac, Apple has big plans to introduce more bigger titles and serious AAA games on Mac. They're partnering with Ubisoft to introduce new Assassin's Creed, and to entice more developers to port their games, they have Game Porting Toolkit 2. Let's switch gear to iPadOS 18. You get all the good stuff from iOS 18, including customization of your home screen, the new control center and all its changes. But the biggest change we have is a new tab bar. It's been redesigned and it looks very familiar to what you might have seen on Apple TV. You have a sidebar from which you can pull more actions and shortcuts to the tab bar that you want to use frequently. And this is a new way of using iPad which will now start showing up on other apps. A new cool addition to SharePlay on video calls is the ability to draw on your screen and to let others take control of your screen. This is really useful, especially when you have some sort of a demo that you want to give, or to take control of someone's device to fix a problem or show them around. In a weird turn of events, Apple has introduced Calculator on the iPad. This calculator is now much more advanced than the calculator you see on the iPhone, and it now has history. I hope Apple brings the history feature to the iPhone as well. That's not it. Apple has also added the ability to use a pencil with the calculator. They're calling it Math Notes. You're able to use the pen to do math on iPad. As you can see in this example, as soon as you put the equals sign, iPad is going to solve it for you. When you draw a line, it's going to do a sum. Lastly, let's talk about Smart Script. You're now able to paste and iPad is going to write it in your handwriting. You're also able to make corrections, and the corrections are made in your handwriting. You're now able to select and move text around in case you forgot to write something, to fill in the gaps. And that's iPadOS. Quick changes coming to the AirPods is the ability to interact with Siri without talking. You can nod your head left, right, or up and down to receive or deny calls. You have voice isolation available on AirPods, which allow you to block out background noise completely, like you could do it on the iPhone. Now let's talk about watchOS. There are a couple of interesting changes coming to watchOS. First one is Watch is now able to show how much effort you're putting in your workouts from a scale of 1 to 10. We're now able to customize the summary page on our fitness app. This is a much needed change that I've been hoping for since a long time. Apple has introduced a new Vitals app. This app on your watch is able to track your vitals, and I think this is Apple's answer to all the smart rings that are going to come out soon. Maybe Apple will release their smart ring at some point. If the Vitals app sees something different in your vitals, it will give you an alert to show you the factors that might be causing it. Apple now has Smart Stack on the Apple Watch. Smart Stack will show you alerts based on location or events, like example rain. If it's starting soon, it will show you that. If you're traveling, it will show you Translate, so you can use Translate quickly. And that's watchOS. The final topic is visonOS 2. Apple has introduced a couple of changes which in my opinion should have been there at the launch. We have a couple of new gestures for home screen. You can customize the layout of your home screen, move the icons the way you like it. You can access Control Center. The new gesture show you the time and the battery. Apple has updated the Mac virtual display. You can now have widescreen and ultra widescreen. I think this was highly requested and people are definitely going to use this. Gives you next level of real estate. Apple now has a train mode that allows for better tracking, so you can work and watch movies on the train. We have new content coming up like movies and other immersive experiences for the Vision Pro. And that's about it. Apple has reiterated that there are several iOS apps that are compatible on Vision Pro, but I feel developers have to build more Vision Pro specific apps for people to adopt it more and the price has to come down. The Vision Pro is now available outside the United States, which will definitely improve its app development as more developers will get their hands on it. Apple Intelligence seems to be really exciting. I'm really excited about iOS and macOS changes. I cannot wait to use them. As soon as the beta is out, I'm going to be trying. So do subscribe and stick around for more content like this. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What's the most exciting aspect of the changes Apple is bringing to the future of their devices? If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.